A British YouTuber named Lubna was recently forced to take down most of her channel after receiving threats from the Muslim community. Today she was once again approached by a deranged individual who entered her live chat. He had the following interaction with her.
Mohammed Yusuf, you are new to this channel and your camera is off. Can you please have your camera on? Because sometimes I get threats and trolls and then I don't like having people on without their camera. Because only those people have the camera off that have something to...
Okay, so Lubna, I'm going to speak, and I don't want you to interrupt me because this is quite important, and I need to get this off my chest, right? I found your channel, okay? I was redirected to this channel from my secret group chat, okay? I ended up on this group chat because I was at Speaker's Corner and we were talking about you. There was a lot of us and there was a lot of angry people there, right? That were very angry. Now, I'm not Pakistani, right? I'm Arab and I'm Muslim. I pray 5 times a day. I'm a real Muslim. Okay, I live in the UK. Right? I live in London, okay? Now, I'm not happy with some of the stuff that you've been saying. You said that Pakistani people are predisposed to groom children, and I'm not happy about that. I don't like the lies that you're spreading, right? And again, I don't want you to interrupt me, so just listen. What I need you to do, right, is to stop spreading videos like this. I need you to be careful because I don't like what you're doing, and the people in my group chat who are of an Asian background are not happy with what you're doing, and they might conspire to get your channel taken down. They also said that you were saying a lot of racist things to other types of Muslims, like black Muslims and Asian Muslims, and saying that they need to be deported or something like that. And again, you might disagree. Fair enough, you might disagree. But that's what I heard, and I saw your videos, and I did a lot of research. I saw your videos, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Now, I'm glad you deleted them, but I'm gonna ask for you, please, to delete a lot of these lives where you're inviting racist people, racist white people, to talk bad stuff about my religion.
I would like to have asked him, why are you getting so upset? Why are you getting so emotional whenever we raise important concerns that we have about your scripture? Why are you not happy to clarify things for us and use logic and reason in order to sway us to see things from your point of view? Is it because you don't have a good argument? Because people who need to use anger and violence in order to suppress people, in order to silence and intimidate them, they normally don't have a very good argument to present. If they did, they wouldn't need to do that.
I'm not happy, Lubna. I'm not happy. Okay? I'm not happy. I'm not happy with this, and this is not good. You can't do this. You need to stop this. You need to stop making these types of videos because I'm not happy with this, Lubna.
Do you notice how obsessed this individual is with himself and how he feels? What's funny is that all of his anger is stemming from the grooming gang scandal. You would think he would take just one moment to reflect on the many girls that have been impacted by this. No, instead, it's all about him. It's all about his religion. He's the victim. God forbid that his community actually engaged with this problem and tried to fix it. No, they're more interested in trying to downplay the issue or try to say, oh, well, I'm not like that, so this has nothing to do with me and nothing to do with my religion, even though I've never been to a march that actually tells people I don't do these things. I'll march for other things, for other less important things, but I won't march for this.
Aki, can I ask you a question? Aki, can I ask you a question?
My community and my religion, and you can deny it all you want.
Yo, can I ask you a question,
You're not
bro?
British. I just want you to understand this. You're not British.
Can I ask you a question? Are you there?
Right?
Is this an answering machine?
You wish you were white or whatever, but
It's
you
an
are not
answering
British.
machine.
You are Pakistani.
Recorded. You might as well just cut it off.
Maybe you want to be British. Maybe you
I
want to
don't
be
even.
man or whatever. I don't know. But you need to stop being disrespectful to my religion, because a lot of people are looking at this channel now, and you're the talk of the town. You're the talk of the town, and you're annoying a lot of people. You're making people angry. I don't care what you've been talking about, or if you apologize. You need to start deleting videos on your channel, Lubna. Because if you don't, I'm going to report your channel and get your channel banned permanently.
Oh yeah.
Right? There's other people that are not happy. I'm not the only person. I'm not the only person. There's a lot of people that are having problems with the stuff that you're saying, the racist stuff that you're saying. I'm not happy. So stop it, okay? Stop it.
Okay, that was pre-recorded, Lubna. You do know that, yeah? Are you even there?
Now, some people might be thinking, well, maybe he has cause to be this offended. Maybe she really did say those horrible things and really did endorse them. In order to determine the answer to that, I went ahead and looked at the last few live streams from Lubna's channel. I clipped out the most contentious parts for you.
Regarding this situation, there's nothing. If we need to stand up against it, the Lord Pearson report was that 222 convictions were made regarding grooming gangs in about 18 years. He said this in the House of Lords. Anyone can check it out. Then we have the J report, which is also very questionable, with 1,400 victims. I'm sure there's many people. It doesn't make sense. I've been to Rotherham, and there doesn't seem to be that many people even there. And I know you guys are going to come back, and I'm happy to stay. And if you've got an objection with that, I'm happy to stay. I go a bit further regarding grooming gangs. I think that we shouldn't deport these people because they're going to go there and do all this evil stuff. We should, yeah. But so if we have to speak up against it, and the white people here on this panel need to speak out against the 160,000 women that are abused by white men, according to Metropolitan Police, a year approximately. So we can't all, we are against this. And my point is, everyone's against this. For Superman to say no, the first thing we need to say, stand up against it, and we are 100% against it. There's no one for it, you know. So that was my point basically.
You know what's so funny? Superman's turned into Candid with Lubna 2.0. Now, Superman, you know how I feel. Each time I spoke up, I was silenced. Look, the problem is we're living in this country, and if there is a feeling amongst the general population, the native white people, that we're not speaking up, and that's because we don't care, surely we need to put our ego aside and speak up.
I think
it's not obvious.
Only an idiot would think that we don't care. Of course, we are against it as much as any white person is against it, even more so. That's my point. I think everybody knows we're against it. This is just...
Okay, guys, in the comment section, is it obvious that the Pakistani community is against it or not? Just be honest in the comment section.
Typically with Muslims, they tend to sort of stay like a closed circle, if you know what I mean. And they probably feel like they're all being judged at the same time, but that's not the case. It really isn't the case. When people talk about the groom, I wanted to say this to Superman actually about a week or so ago. When we talk about the grooming gangs, it's not just about the men that did what they did. It's about the whole thing, including the police, the social services, the councils, the schools, the children's homes, the taxi drivers. It is a massive thing. So when people talk about the grooming gangs, that's kind of just like a title, if you like. That doesn't mean that what the men did was okay, if you see what I mean, or is lesser. You know, what they did was absolutely disgusting. But it means there's a much bigger picture.
Is that really true? Are you certain? I'm challenging that. I don't think that's...
According to the report.
Yeah.
According to the report. And the other thing I just wanted to clear up is that about the close-knit community, obviously cousin marriage is a thing. And so when you've got families that are close and intertwined with each other, it makes it more difficult for people to, for women to say what's going on in their own home, for you know, for people to speak. Who do you go to when your father-in-law is also your uncle? You know, it just makes it a bit more. I didn't say every family, obviously, but that's what I meant, is that it increases that kind of. And I have actually heard Muslim girls online where they've talked about getting out domestic violence situations, and they felt like they had nobody they could turn to because everybody they could speak to was a sister-in-law or a cousin or a.
Could I share something? Could I share something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I come from Pakistani heritage, and so I'm not coming. I want to take ownership for my community and what they've done. They've had the opportunity to come to this country, to grow and have a fantastic life. And now
So what have they done?
the biggest problem is there's evidence that the grooming gangs who carried out these very, very serious crimes, accused of taxi drivers going up the stairs, raping little girls. Now, as a real man, and people of the leaders of the community should name it and say, you are disgusting men. There were uncles taking their nephews to go and rape little girls, taking them to corner shop, taking them to night kebab shops and raping them. Not one girl, not 100 girls. There were trustees of community centres who had the keys, who actually had queues of people queuing up, Pakistani taxi drivers, writing a list of, oh, I came in and I've raped one of the girls, and signing the list, I owe you £50 or whatever they did. They took these little girls to different town centres, spread them all over the country. Cousins, uncles, fathers went together to participate in this disgusting behaviour. They would go to schools, send their little nephews, 15, 16 years old, to go and speak to these girls, pretend they were boyfriends, get them drugged up, take them drugs, give them a free kebab, innocent girls. Real men would immediately see a vulnerable person and protect them. But these people were absolutely disgusting. This is a fundamental corruption of our society, our democracy. There were politicians, there were Labour Party involved in it. And I'm not an expert on this subject, but you can look at Raja Mia, a Bangladeshi Muslim, and he has regular videos naming and listing the perpetrators and the individuals of this crime. You can't.
Criminals will always be criminals, as
no, I don't
especially
think
these
so.
evil people who do these things to the kids. You can't change them. It's just you've got to find a punitive punishment.
Maybe you can't change those individuals, but what you can do is set up a standard where people can be educated properly not to behave in such a way. And it's been covered up by Javed Khan, etc., trying to say we don't need this inquiry, trying to say bring up Jimmy Savile. Who cares? But let Jimmy Savile do his stuff, whatever's happened. I actually believe it's a bigger problem. There's something fundamental within the certain echelons of society with the corruption with sex crimes and things like that, yeah? So they probably allowed that kind of behaviour.
As a community, we should get together and speak out and defend those girls.
Yeah, hi there, guys. How's everyone? First of all, look, I'm not blaming an entire community. Like, I've got friends within the Pakistani community, and there's some really good people, but there is a problem. Now, I want to point out two things. The first thing is this. I remember when Superman first came on this channel, and the first thing he was talking about was Jimmy Savile and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, what he was trying to effectively do was he was specifically targeting an ethnic community, the white community, and trying to hold them accountable for these actions. But when we started to talk about the Pakistani grooming gangs, he then decided to change the whole narrative and turn it into a societal issue. So do you see the juxtaposition between the two things, the two narratives? What's basically happening is it's this selective narrative. So it's easy for him to point out a community if he doesn't belong to that community for argument's sake. You've got Jimmy Savile and you've got Epstein.
I don't understand why anyone would get upset with these kinds of conversations. It's just people sharing opinions, their perspectives, and it's how they're growing together. This is how you solve problems as a community. You give your input and you listen to what other people have to say. Anyways, I just wanted to shine a light on what kinds of PG-rated material Lubna is now getting threatened over. It seems like because she acquiesced the first time, because she yielded to them, now they can find almost any excuse to press her with it again. At the slightest hint of an offense, they are going to try and use the same tactic that worked last time. Why? Because that's how they operate. As soon as you yield to them once, they are going to do it again and again and again, because that's how a bully operates. Thanks for watching the video up until this point. That's all I've got for you today. Please like and subscribe, and you can help me produce more content like this.